Welcome back to Primetime News and a special welcome to the folks on OneSpotMedia.com. A reminder as well that you can watch TVJ Live by downloading our OneSpot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot and Media. While it's early days yet relating to the by-election in Northwest St. Andrew, there are renewed concerns about questionable government spending leading up to the polls. The opposition People's National Party has yet again sounded an alarm as both political parties get set to battle it out for the seat. Mere days after he announced his retirement from politics, controversy erupted over who would replace the Jamaica Labour Party's Derek Smith ahead of the pending announcement of a by-election by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. But from all indication, the JLP executive has spoken, choosing economic advisor Ambassador Nigel Clark over Mr. Smith's son Dwayne Smith as the party's caretaker. The outgoing MP telling the Gleaner in a January 23 article that he will not support Nigel Clark if he is, quote, parachuted in the seat, unquote. Mr. Smith is of the view that delegate should select the... Now, while there's upset in the JLP camp, the People's National Party says it's in the of finalizing its candidate for the upcoming poll.
There are internal processes that have to be completed before we can indicate so to the public.
That was Friday. However, Saturday afternoon, the party named a principal of the...
allocated for roadworks in Northwest St. Andrew. I would only say to the public sector workers, to our teachers, to our nurses who at all times are asking for improvements in their wage settlements, that if you add the 91 million in West St. Andrew, the 500 million that was spent in St. Mary, the 800 million that was spent for the local government election, and you make a connection between not being able to fulfill wage demands, not being able to improve our court system, and you look at where this government chooses to spend money and where it prioritizes it, it is clear that wherever it is in their narrow partisan political interest, they find the money to do what they want to do.
Northwest St. Andrew is considered a Jamaica Labour Party safe seat. Derek Smith retired last month after serving as MP for 29 years. And in another development on the political scene, a legal showdown is now looming between Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament for South East St. Mary, Dr. Norman Dunn, and the People's National Party over alleged defamation. We have more in this report from TVJ's Jeline Pearson.
Dr. Dunn filed a lawsuit in the Supreme Court on a Friday accusing PNP General Secretary Julian Robinson and former MP Damien Crawford of defaming his character. The lawsuit stemmed from an incident in Epsom District, St. Mary last year, in which it was alleged that the MP engineered the installation of unauthorized street lights in the community during the run-up to the hotly contested by-election. Dr. Dunn argues that the claims by officials of the PNP that he had engaged in an illegal act and should be investigated by the police defamed him. The unauthorized connections were removed by the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS. Dr. Dunn insisted that he did not order the installation of the streetlights in Epsom. In the lawsuit, Dr. Dunn is seeking damages for defamation and injunction restraining the defendants, whether by themselves, their servants or agents, from publishing the same or similarly defamatory words. He is also seeking aggravated and exemplary damages. Jeline Pearson, TVJ News.
More than 50 persons were hauled before the courts in St. Elizabeth on Friday for failing to pay property taxes and trade licenses. Officials from the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation say they've had to take a tough stance against delinquents because the corporation failed to meet its tax collection targets last year. We have more in this report.
Tax evaders are being warned to beware as the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation ramps up its property tax collection drive. The corporation was hoping to collect $1 billion in property taxes at the end of December, but it fell short with only 2% of that figure being collected. It has set out to collect remaining 48% by the end of March, which marks the end of the financial year.
We know that there are challenges in terms of individuals out there. There are economic challenges, there are other challenges. but we are prepared to work with them and to, work out plans with them in ensuring that all property taxes are paid.
Already action has been taken against the persons who have failed to pay their taxes. Close to 50 persons appeared before the court in St. Elizabeth for breaches.
Citizens must always remember that the municipal corporation has options. We have options of taking passport to encourage them to comply with this massive question of paying property taxes, which the government needs so badly to carry out the services that citizens want from us.
The mayor says a mobile property tax unit will be roaming between February 15 and 17.
Property tax does a lot of things in the respective parishes in terms of the services that are provided. The collection of garbage, we assist through the NSWMA with the collection of garbage, a matter that persons are constantly calling councillors, members of parliament and the municipal corporation about. You have matters such as street lights, which residents also look on as a very critical area in terms of the service that is provided to them. These are just two examples of things that the property tax goes towards.
Jeline Pearson, TVJ News.
A domestic dispute between two sisters in Trelawney today has left one dead and the other in police custody. Sometime this morning, the two sisters, aged 24 and 18, were involved in a dispute at their home in Stetton, South Trelawney. During the incident, a knife was used to stab the 18-year-old. The teen was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. The 24-year-old is now being questioned by detectives. We go now to a story about an ex-police officer who's been living on a pension of under $2,000 per month for several decades. The former cop hit hard times after he was injured while on a police operation in the 1970s. The forgotten policeman, at least that's how some refer to Lorenzo McLegan. The 74-year-old ex-member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force has been living in squalor in Hart Hill, Windsor Castle, Portland. He joined the JCF in 1972, but his dreams of going through the ranks of the force was cut short after a shooting incident in 1976. He recounts that he was assigned to the Mobile Reserve at the time when an alarm was raised about a situation in Olympic Gardens.
I went to assist a shopkeeper who was being held up, but I misread the play, and the gunman, one of two gunmen, came behind me, neck hold me from behind, stuck the gun in my head, direct, and shot me.
In the head?
Yes, he is.
He's been living with the scars and the pain ever since.
As a result, I have fragments of bullet in the brain, which give me epilepsy sometimes.
After the incident, Mr. McLegan was sent on 2 years sick leave. Unfortunately for him, he never fully recovered and was forced to leave the JCF. Things took a turn for the worse as he could no longer support himself. As for his family,
I would like to see if he could walk again.
a sentiment shared by the ex-cop.
If you had a wish,
Yes.
what would you wish for?
To miraculously get up and start walking again. I still like the police force, and if it was possible, I would be in it. I rejoin again.
On hearing of the former policeman's plight, some members of the JCF have pledged to assist him.
Well, what is very disturbing is that the pension that he's receiving is just over $1,000. You know, and you see the state that he is in there. We brought with us some goodies that we made some quick initiation with Lasco and with Cal's Manufacturing, and we brought some things. We understood that he didn't have a television or a radio. We brought a radio with us, and we will be coming back with a television set. But what we'll be doing in a more permanent way is that we'll be engaging with Food for the Poor to see if we can get a proper house for him. And you notice he's lacking of furniture also. We'll do that. It is also my intention to engage with the MP to see if we can get him on the PATH program.
And that's it for the local segment of Primetime News.